Hello, mommies, and welcome to season 1, episode 3 of Postpartum with Priyah. So, today we are going to be talking about the body changes and how it affects you physically, of course, mentally, and emotionally. Dealing with body changes after a baby is really, really tough. Like, it really just I feel like everything about postpartum is just tough and it really just changes you. But I feel like this is one of the main things that's not really talked about as well because you're dealing with a whole different body or a whole different person in a sense. Your mentality changes and everything. So I'm not gonna hold y'all with the intro too long. Let's just jump right into it. So to give my whole process and my whole thinking about my body, I just want to say in the beginning, it didn't really bother me. I know when I was pregnant, I went at least like 7.5 months without stretch marks, y'all. And it ended up popping up like the last month or the last 2 months. And I just kept praying over my stomach every day. I was putting oil on my stomach every day to make sure that I did what I could to prevent them. But I feel like if they're going to be there, they're going to be there. Like your body's being stretched. It did affect me when I first saw the stretch marks, but I I kind of started to be okay with it and accepting it for what it is once they like really started showing. But one thing I can say is the stretch marks definitely were worse when I was pregnant. Like they weren't as bad postpartum. Even now, I don't feel like they're as bad. But once I did have her, and went through the C-section and went through, whew, y'all. I be getting hot thinking about all this, but once I did have her and I took some time, to let my stomach go down, it didn't really bother me. Like I wasn't really worried about it because I knew my body went through what it went through and I knew it was gonna take a little bit of time for it to really like get back. I ain't even gonna say get back to normal, but to really like heal. I don't know if I want to say heal, but really to just get to a decent point, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was okay up until because I was breastfeeding. I breastfed up until she was turning 1. And no one told me that breastfeeding made you more hungry. So I was eating, y'all. Mind you, when I had her, literally 2 days after I had her, I went back to my regular weight that I was prior to having the baby. My stomach was just like still trying to come down from having my daughter. So what happened? Oh, y'all know I be drawing blank sometimes. Hold on. Oh, okay. So I went back to my regular weight prior to having her, which was 125. I was so used to my ankles and my feet being swollen, y'all. When I saw myself in my regular weight, I kept saying my legs are so little. Like I just kept saying my ankles was like little chicken legs. And me and my mother kept laughing about it because we were used to seeing my legs and my feet being swollen and big. It wasn't really like my arms or anything else affected. And I feel my breasts got bigger for sure because again, I was breastfeeding. They was full of milk. And my stomach, like I said, I'm not gonna say it was all flat, but I was my regular weight. So I remember I was so sad, so hurt when I saw my first little stretch mark. I was like, no, like I was crying. I told my mother, I was like, no, it's happening. And I'm like, once one come, the rest follows, and that's exactly what happened, y'all. And it was mainly like at the bottom right here that was stretched out a lot, but once I got them, I kind of stopped being in my feelings about it after a while because I had so much other stuff going on. I was like, okay, well, it ain't the worst. But I feel like the combination of the C-section scar plus the stretch marks kind of, it doesn't look bad, but in order to really see my C-section mark, you gotta like lift my stomach up. Excuse me, but not like I'm fat. It's just if you have a C-section, you got that little dent right there, and it's kind of like having your underwear right there, and but it's not okay. Don't even worry about it. I didn't know like why I was hungry. I just thought because I did lose my appetite after having her, so probably like I just thought it was my appetite trying to come back or whatever. And once I realized that with breastfeeding, in order to produce more milk, you have to eat, and drink. I didn't realize I didn't necessarily eat and drink because of the breastfeeding. It just was like I was doing it without knowing. So I ended up getting up to 143, y'all. And when I saw that, I was hurt. I was like, I can't believe I'm getting back big. Like, no, it's no way. Cause I was 160 something at my last weight before having her. And I was like, no, like to me that just didn't seem far. It just seemed like a couple more weeks I was gonna be back where I was at. So I started going to the gym, and I did ended up losing a couple pounds on my own. Um, I never had no medicine or anything, but if you watch episode 2, I did have salmonella, so that took literally the rest of the weight. I lost 8 pounds on my own by going to the gym and eating right, and then I caught salmonella, and that literally knocked the rest of the weight out. So a win is a win. I mean, I was hurting and sick, but a win is a win. Before I come to now, let's go back a little bit. I do think with me not knowing how hungry breastfeeding made you, that's really what got me up to my weight. Because I wasn't eating crazy. I wouldn't say I was eating crazy. I still was kind of craving. But what they don't tell you is that breastfeeding craving is 10 times worse um than pregnancy cravings. Like, you really can't help it. And in a sense, I kept saying, like, am I big? Am I greedy? Like, what's wrong? Why I can't stop eating? Whole time it's because this little girl is sucking the life out of me, okay? But I did end up trying to like contain it and try to get on a good enough diet where I don't know how to eat healthy food without feeling like it's boring. I mean, now I try, but it's still boring in a sense. Like, I don't know. I don't see how people be vegetarians and stuff because I just can't. But the stuff that I was researching, the stuff they was telling me to eat, it was just like, eh. And it was only mainly because it was a lot of fruits on there, and I'm allergic to almost every fruit, y'all. I can't even eat a grape. Like, I'm starting to be allergic to grapes again. So, and if I smell a strawberry, I gag. So it's bad. I feel like now I'm starting to be affected by the weight part because it's so easy for me to gain weight. And I actually had to talk to my psychiatrist about this. My therapist looked at me like, girl, you are crazy. Not crazy like that, but she's just like, you need to talk to them about that because that's not good, basically. So I was telling her how sometimes I literally do starve myself. I will starve myself. If I feel like I'm eating too much, I will literally convince myself that I'm going to be big the next day. Like, it's no way around it. So I just, sometimes I do starve myself. Sometimes I will go on a fast. Sometimes I will try things that used to help me. But it seemed like those techniques don't really work no more. And nobody talks about how it's so easy to gain weight after having a baby. Like, it literally sucks. You can't even have one good meal for real without thinking about, oh my God, like, I'm about to gain some weight from this. Like, that's really how my thought process go because I'm really scared to get that big again. And people love to wait on me, but I'm like, no, I'm used to being a petite girl, having a shape. I never liked hips. Like, I ain't gonna say I don't want no hips, but I want the hips that I had before. And again, to go back to what I was saying in the beginning, nobody talks about how you go from the transition of what your body used to be versus what it is now. It hurts and it sucks. And it feels unfair because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I looked at her dad like, you ain't nothing changed about you. Ain't nothing of your body part changed. Like, you're good. I'm the one that had to get stretched out and all that 50 times a month. I'm growing every single day. So 50 times a month I'm stretched out. But I had to also learn how to control that because, it's women. We meant to go through this. God put us here for this reason. So I did I did struggle and still do struggle with thinking I look a certain way or wearing certain clothes. I've always been a big girl, excuse me, been a big clothes girly. I love big clothes. I love tomboyish clothes. I love clothes like that. But I feel like now I'm getting more into it because I just be feeling like every little thing makes me feel like my stomach is big, or sometimes I'll go to my mom and be like, Mom, do I look big? Do I look fat? How do my legs look? Are my hips spreading? Like, and then me being me, I also I'm so scared of being pregnant again as well, and I haven't been active. But the thing is, I will still be like, oh my God, I hope I'm not eating too much because I'm pregnant, knowing I haven't even done anything. So, yes, I had to talk to my psychiatrist about that because it's scary and traumatizing. Like, pregnancy is supposed to be a beautiful thing. And I know people go through things, but it's, for me, mine was just traumatic and it was nothing. I'm so scared to have a baby again. And I always wanted two. And I said at the most I'll do three, but two was my stopping point. And now I don't even want to make it to that second one because I'm scared. I'm scared of going through postpartum again. I'm scared of dealing with the struggles of a hard pregnancy. I am scared of even working while pregnant. Like, I don't want to be working while pregnant. Not at all. Even though I wasn't, but it was because I was high risk. See, if I wasn't high risk and placed on bed rest, I would have been right at work, and I did not want that. So I want to be in a more stable position, which is why I'm teaching myself new things and new skills and business things that's going to help me um be at a comfortable place in my life. I just want to be free and away from depending on a 9 to 5, honestly. And though I work from home now, it's still like a sense of dependence on that check, and I don't want that. I think me being scared has a lot to do with my mental health. Me being scared of what will happen next. I also feel I don't do well with change anymore because I feel like me being pregnant changed everything so fast. Like, my mind just changed just like that. When I found out I was pregnant, it was just like, you're grown now. And though I have the support system behind me, if you're a mom, which I hope you are watching this, then you understand what I'm saying. Like, it's not easy to just go from being in one place and then you're rushed. It kind of feel like you're being rushed to grow up in a sense. And I don't mind, growing up. I don't mind being the adult and I don't mind being a mom. It's just how fast things change. Like, I really don't like change now because of how fast everything happened with my pregnancy. And when I look back, even now, sometimes I get emotional. Like, where did time go? Like, I just wish I could go back in time and not even go back in time to go to who I was before this. I'm talking about go back in time to when my baby was first born because she is going up so fast. My little girl is, oh, she talking to me when she's sleepy. She say, "Sleepy night night. I'm sleepy night night." And I just be like, "Oh my baby." And then if she don't want something, she say, "No, I don't want to." Y'all, she only I said 19 months. Who she be talking to? But I'm just so happy. I'm happy my baby girl is growing. I'm happy that I'm able to teach my daughter everything that she knows. And again, I just be wishing I could go back in time because time just goes like this. Like, I don't like sudden changes anymore. If it's not a plan to change, then I don't like it. Even if it's something that'll benefit me, I just don't like how fast things go. And I'm just scared of change, even if it is good. That's something I gotta work on within myself. And I just got a lot of trauma that I do have to heal with. But I just, I don't know. Any small thing that makes me feel like I'm big, if I look big, if a fitted shirt doesn't look right, I'm taking it off and I'm putting on something bigger. I don't know why this bothers me as well. I don't know why people think that it's okay for them to comment on your weight after you have a baby. That is a no no. The camera cut off on me, y'all, and the camera's actually dying. I don't want to rush this episode. So, yeah. The last part I said was people were saying this when she was months old. It's not fair to me that people just feel like it's okay to just comment on your weight. Like, why do you think that, oh, you got big, it's okay to say? Like, no. I mean, of course I did because I just had a whole human. You try it out. You try being pregnant and let me know where your weight is when you come back, okay? And I don't like how other people be feeling like influenced by social media because all of this stuff, no one's really. Now, I'm not speaking for myself. Most of these people that y'all look up to do not show the real. It be influencers who body be just snatched right after having a baby, and it's a lot of times because they got their bodies done. So, my message to the mamas: if you need to take a break from social media to get yourself together and to get yourself, out of the state of I want to look like this, but I look like this because I just had a baby, and how she looked like that, and she just had a baby. No, take a break from social media. Go on a fast. Talk to God about it. And even And that you can start using the gym as motivation. Push yourself to look how you want to look. And it's a lot of things that's easier said than done, but trust me, when you really put yourself out there, it'll help. The gym was like therapy to me. I felt good going to the gym knowing that I was getting myself together. And the only issue I had with the gym is the minute you miss like a day or two, oh baby, the weight is almost like back. I see why people get surgeries, but God made you exactly how He wanted you to be made. Do not go out here messing with your body. That's the same thing. That's the same way I feel with Botox. That's the same way I feel with anything for real. I'm a natural girl. I don't even like makeup. I don't even like lashes. I wear makeup because I have acne and I hate the scars on my face. And there's nothing wrong with those things. Like y'all be looking good. Don't get me wrong. Even I look good when I got my makeup and my lashes on. But be natural sometimes. I love seeing natural girls. Like it'd be so cute. But even with your mommy bodies, love yourself. You created a human. And I know that's people say that all the time, but you got to find the peace in things. And that's my whole thing. I found the peace in it. Even though I'm struggling with small things now, I understand that this came from me having a baby. Now, as far as the weight part, I'm still trying to make peace with that because I just it's just so easy to gain weight now. Like it's almost like you really do have to watch what you eat 100% of the time. And I know we supposed to be, healthy anyway and eating the good foods anyway, but sometimes you do want a little snack or you do want a little cheat day. Like sometimes I be like, when I eat something, I be like, yep, this gonna show in my weight in about 2 weeks. Cause sometimes your body reacts late. So yeah, it's not easy. That's something that I'm still struggling with. But as far as my stretch marks, I'm getting a lot better with that. I'm still trying to work on this little pudge I have. Um, it's still like I'm trying to describe the pudge. Like you could still kind of tell that I did have a baby in a way. I don't know. It depends on what I got on, but you can for sure when I got on a little baby suit, you could definitely tell. I just wanted to speak about really like the body changes and how it really can affect your mental. And when I say it affects your mental, it's just like the things that I just described with myself, like just thinking that every little thing is going to cause me to gain weight, or you just not liking yourself no more, or you looking at yourself differently, and how it changed your thinking about yourself. Like at some point I couldn't even look at old pictures of myself because I would cry and I would get sad because I would be like, this is who I used to be, this is who I am, and I can't get that back. And I used to look at pictures like, oh my god, my stomach was so smooth, like it was so like perfect, it was so flat, I didn't have that little mommy pudge. I used to look at my pictures like that, and I could not look at pictures of myself for so long. Even me looking at pictures of how much fun I used to have when I was out and with my friends and stuff. But you know, I honestly, now to exclude the weight part, that's a different part. But when I look back on who I used to be, yeah, those were good times. I was drinking, clubbing, doing everything. Those were good times. I enjoyed them. But God called me, and I feel He used my babies to call me to Him. Because I already was praying. I literally got baptized. I was pregnant when I got baptized, y'all, and I didn't even know. The night before that, I was out with my friends having a good little night, drinking and everything. I got up for church the next day, got baptized, cleansed me. I said, God, I don't want to keep drinking to have fun. A month later, I found out I was pregnant. And I asked God to help me be sober for 6 months. And He put me down for 9, 10, 11, 12. He put me down. And I feel like God really used that because now I don't drink. Now I don't smoke. And I feel like that's another reason why postpartum hit me so bad, because those were my usual coping mechanisms. I stopped smoking 3 years ago, and it'll be a year and 2 weeks for my drinking. But I was using those things to cope, and since I can't use those anymore, I have to really fully face it. So I feel like that's why I'm going through it so hard, or I've been going through it so hard, because I have nothing else to depend on but God. And I know how people say, well, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you really walk with God, you would really understand that it's easier said than done. That is something you really can't just do with the snap of the finger. Like, okay, I'm following God. Okay, but you're gonna have distractions, you're gonna have temptation, you're gonna have people around you that's doing it, and that kind of goes hand in hand with temptation. But again, you have to be strong. At some point you gotta get tired. At some point you gotta get strong and say, I cannot deal with this. And I did have a few drinks after having my daughter, but guess what? This is how I knew it was God too. First of all, it was me just not wanting to be like that around my daughter, but first and foremost, it was God. Because I would feel so bad, like convicted after doing it. Not only was I convicted, I also was like, I don't like this feeling no more. Like it don't feel good to me no more. I didn't like it. And I kept saying it's making me sleepy. Like I don't like that. I want to feel up. I want to be how I used to be, turned and doing it. And don't get me wrong, it was a time where I had fun doing it after having her, but I still felt something in my spirit was just telling me that this is not you no more. You need to let that go. So I did. And I was tempted. A lot of times. I'm still tempted to this day sometimes. If things get stressful, I'll just be like, oh my God, I just need a little bit of wine. And no. And some people try to argue with me like, oh, God said you could drink wine, but you can't get drunk. Yeah, pure wine, not the wine with the alcohol in it. The pure wine. So I don't argue with people because at the end of the day, God said what he said. It's in the book. You can read your Bible. If you really read and really get into your scripture and really study his word, then you will understand why you're not supposed to do these things. And drinking leads to things that it's not supposed to lead to. Anger, frustration, sexual things, just a lot of sin that's not supposed to be there. And of course, sometimes drinking is used for the devil to get to you. Like the devil know you're vulnerable in those moments, so he's gonna try to get you in those moments. And a lot of people think drinking makes things better, and it doesn't. It sometimes can bring out the worst in you. You could snap when you're drinking. You can snap while you're drunk. Like it can bring out the worst. And that right there alone shows how much unhealed trauma a lot of people have when they can't even enjoy the drink. And again, I wasn't snapping on people or nothing. I just couldn't stand the feeling no more. And though the wine started to relax me during postpartum, and I kept saying, okay, maybe I'll just sip a little bit of wine. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, especially because, I was breastfeeding, so I really wasn't comfortable. Like some nights, because my milk used to fluctuate with me dealing with the depression. So if it was around the time the milk wasn't really producing, I'd find time to go give me a little sip. And yeah. So another thing you got to pay attention to, the devil will try to send things your way to try to tempt you, especially when it comes to you putting things down for God. So if you know that, that's just like for a relationship. For example, if you're in a relationship with someone, you tired of this person doing this or you tired of this person doing that, and you say, I want this type person, the devil will also send you exactly who you're asking for, and that person will be the worst person ever. So you gotta really build that relationship with God so you can hear his voice and you can know when it's him. That's what you call wisdom, knowledge, and discernment. And you need to also know when you have been convicted. If you're committing a sin and you don't feel as good as you normally would feel, step out of it. You'll be convicted. You'll feel that feeling. Something in your spirit just not gonna be right. And I feel like I have a lot of those moments now. Like I don't even feel right cursing, y'all. If I say a curse word, I'd be like, God forgive me. Like this don't feel right. Something ain't right. And I truly believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. Like I just like it's nothing you can tell me about them. Like those my folks. Those is my folks. I don't see how people really don't believe because he has shown me firsthand who he is. A lot of people ignore the signs of God, y'all. I ain't even supposed to be going to church right now. We supposed to be talking about the weight and the body changes, but listen, God is good. God is amazing. Though I went through what I went through, it was for a purpose. It was for a reason. That's why in the bio of the postpartum page, I have pain, finding purpose in your pain. Yeah, and I feel this was made, like this podcast, this was made for me to spread awareness to the people that need it. But also to give people a place to come to. It's not just about what I went through, it's about what we all went through. Being a mom is not easy. And even if you are a mom and you never went through anything that was struggling, I still take my hat off to you, because it still comes with things like just the change in general, going from doing things when you want to do things to doing it on a timely schedule because you have a baby. Those little small changes can affect you in ways that you don't know. Or I don't like when people try to project what they went through onto other people. So I'm not going to try to project my issues, but I do feel every mom should know what I mean when I say coming from being this way to coming to this way. Like the shift is, y'all. I'm about to get me a camera crew because I don't know why this camera just be shutting off after like a certain, well, probably about 12 minutes and 30 seconds. It'll shut off. Why? I don't know, but I honestly don't even know where I left off at. I know we was talking about God and we was talking about how the shift, and how I hate changes, but all in all, I just want to say it's normal for the way you feel. It's normal to not be okay with certain changes. It is normal for you to still try to adjust to changes no matter how old your child is, because some things you just really don't expect. I mean, after a certain point you'll accept it, but when it's so early on, it's okay. It is okay. We're meant to go through these things so we can go to God. If we don't know God, what else are we going to do? Like, you really have to go to him. You really have to trust that he will have things figured out. Even though I went through what I went through, I don't question him. Even though I say, Lord, I don't know, I don't want to go through this, or I'm tired. His timing is made perfect in our pain. His timing is literally perfect. It's nothing that we can do to speed up his process. He didn't ask for our helping hand. It's nothing God and Jesus can't do. So you have to trust on him. He said, cast all of your anxieties onto him. When I'm worried, stressed, or, you know, thinking about certain things, I pray. I do pray. I'll read my Bible. I'll watch a sermon. I will do something that gives God my attention. And we also have to understand that we cannot just pray, 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 and not do anything that God is expecting of us for him. And what I mean by that is you can't expect God to give you something if you're not even taking 10 minutes out of your day to give to him. Stop waking up and getting on your phone. Wake up, pray first, read a book, read some of your book or your Bible, and then get on your phone. Treat your phone like a privilege. Treat your phone like, okay, I can't touch this because I got to talk to God first. Give him 10 to 30 minutes out of your day, and then extend that to an hour once you get comfortable. Some things that I do to help me spend my time with God: I'll watch a sermon, I'll cut social media for a day and replace that with Bible time. I will cut out any distractions, like I said, the social media. I will what else do I do? I'll set timers for me to pray. At nighttime, I wait until the house is quiet, my baby is asleep, no one's around, and I turn my lights off in my room. Sometimes I'll either play worship music or I'll just turn my TV off, and I will literally vent to God about how my day is, what I'm feeling. I open my heart to him at nighttime. So if that's something that you are interested in, you should try that, just to give God some time. Make him, I always tell people, treat God like your first option and not your last resort. Don't just go to him when things get bad. And that's something I had to learn as well. God is the only one that carried me through all of this. If I ain't had him, I don't know, baby, y'all probably would have been missing me. I hate to say it like that, but yeah, if I didn't have God carrying me through this, if I did not believe in the man above, I would not be here today. And I thank God for giving me the strength to keep going and to not give up, because though I'm still struggling with certain things, there's also good things that's going on. That's another thing, mamas. I want y'all to understand that. Well, I want y'all to not. Okay, so to get back to what I was saying, I want y'all to not let the bad outweigh the good, and not be so focused on what's going on bad around your life. Even if it's something that's not as bad but it could be better, don't stress yourself about it. Give it to God. And again, it's easier said than done, because I struggle too. But once you realize that God and Jesus is the source and the way of life, then you will understand that all these things does not matter if you have him. And I'm not saying it like, nothing really matters, because the way that you live matters. You got to have faith. You got to trust him. You can't just, like I said, expect things to fall out the sky if you're not doing the work. Just like in the Bible, they say faith without works is dead. It's in Proverbs. Y'all got to read, open your books, educate yourself. When you feed yourself the word of God, it's a whole different feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. So, mamas, that is my big hug from someone to jump back on some of the body changes that I also dealt with breastfeeding. My breasts are no longer the same. Now, some people may say it's not that bad, but I personally, now I'm not saying it, hold on, not like everybody be saying my stuff now, right? But like my mom or something, or her partner. I say her partner, my partner. At that time, he may have said, you still look good, or but it's still us. Like, they don't understand the changes that happen with your body. It's just a lot. Like, and another thing, I talked about the hips, right? And I never liked wide hips. So now what I see for myself is just my hips is just wide and my butt is just big and my thighs is just thick. Like, I don't like that. So I do be doing things to try to help. I go on fast. I eat healthier. It's nothing you can really do about the hips, but even to a person that is a mom, they be like, "Girl, your body look good." I be like, "Thank you. I just wish I was just a little smaller." But I'm not far from my regular weight. I did go back up to 128. I lost all the weight. I went back down to 125, and I just gained like a little 3 pounds. And that just happened like recently, and I know why I did. But I did have a minute where I was just eating crazy, and I don't know why, but I was. And that also was another moment of me like knowing that the weight was coming. And I kind of got comfortable. I was like, well, if it ain't here yet, then I ain't worried about it. But yeah, it was for sure. It was for sure like coming in, y'all. And that's the weight I'm trying to get on. But yeah, like with your breasts, they just change so much when you breastfeed or just have a baby in general. Like, they don't sit up all cute and perky no more. I ain't saying they hang down low all the way to the floor, but I just wish they were up more. But would I touch my body? No. Any surgeries? No. I wouldn't do anything to tamper, because again, God made me this way. If He wanted them to sit up how they used to, that's how they would have been. So I'm not gonna stress about the things that are out of my control. Another thing that people don't talk about with body changes as well is dealing with different things that probably wasn't as bad before, but it gets worse. Like, when I was pregnant, y'all, my eczema and acne was 10 times worse. Even now, I break out in places that I never broken out in before with my eczema. Like, my hands break out crazy now, and even I'm having an outbreak right now, and it mainly happens when I'm stressed, but when it gets hot outside. And it usually clears up in the cold. And I think I said this in episode 2, but this time it stayed around all year round. Like, my fingers split and everything. I get it around my eyes now in the springtime, especially because of the pollen. Um, Let me see what else. My legs. If I'm super stressed, my legs will break out. Like, you won't see it, but I will be itching like crazy after I get out the shower, and it'll make me stay in the shower like, oh, me want to get out. My lips have broke out before. What else? My arm, I get this same little rash right here. The cream that I use, it works, but mm, my acne isn't as bad as it was. But when I was pregnant, it was for sure. It was terrible. Like, I had little like dark spots here. I had dark spots over here, over here. I was breaking out nonstop. My back was breaking out really, really bad. I was sweating more when I was pregnant. It was, whew, it sounded like a nightmare. It really did. It do sound like, girl, are you okay? Like, I really can't believe I survived most of these things, but I had God on my side, so it's not really unbelievable when you know your father. Okay. Before I do close out, I also want to pinpoint on the C-section recovery and how my body changed so much after the C-section. I think in the last episode or the first episode I talked about this, but I used to get waxes um probably up until I was about 4 months pregnant, and I will never get a wax again if I ever decide to have another baby. I will never get a wax again while pregnant. I'm sorry, never again. That was the most. You think it's painful now? Oh, Whew, never again. But yeah, so with the C-section, my scar is so sensitive still to this day. My daughter will be 20 months tomorrow. And my scar is actually, she's 20 months today, y'all. I'm tripping. But my scar is so sensitive, you still can't tug on it. I can't stretch my skin. I can't really like move. I could do little stuff like this. I could push on it, but I can't rub nothing against it. Sometimes when my cycle comes, I have like sharp pains through it and it hurts a little more. Let me see what else happens with the scar. It just randomly, like, it just feels weird, but it's also like a feeling there. Like I'll shave there, but it's like I gotta be really careful because it's still kind of sensitive. And my grandmother had a C-section with my uncle. No, she had it with my mom and my uncle, and she said hers still bother her to this day. And that's so crazy because my grandmother is in her 60s. Like, when does it stop? When does it stop? But and my aunt too. My sister's 15, and my aunt says hers like still be itching and stuff. I do hear a lot about it itching, but with me, yeah, I'm still sensitive. I keep saying I want to go back to waxing, but I don't because of how traumatized I am from stuff touching me during labor, and also I'm scared of the pain. Like, and it's so weird because if I pinch something on this side, I'll feel it in my scar. But I think I'm good for this episode. I don't want to close out if there is some things that I need to add. But for now, make sure y'all are subscribed. If you are new here, I will put the Instagram like I did in the last episode. You can follow. It is Postpartum with Priyah. And again, make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment, do whatever you need to do to grow my subscribers and grow our postpartum community. And I will see y'all in episode 4. Bye, mommy.